Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. Welcome back. Today I'm going to be making watermelon steak. Now, I've never heard of this before, but Tiffany shared this with me on social media recently, and I was totally confounded and perplexed and confused. But to celebrate National Watermelon Day, I thought I'd tackle it. So it's pretty simple. All you do is you cut a fat slice of watermelon, and you can either grill it or pan fry it, and then it's supposed to change its texture a little bit. The flavors are supposed to lighten, and it's supposed to be kind of similar to a tuna steak in texture. I'm sure not in flavor, but in texture. So I'm totally confused by this, but I want to try it. My biggest question is how this will saute up. This is watermelon after all. It is very, very wet, and things that are wet are difficult to pan fry or saute or to get any caramelization because it contains so much water. So in preparation for this, I found a blog post, I'll put the link down below, in which she suggested that you slice the watermelon and allow it to dry in the refrigerator for a couple hours, and that helps in the whole kind of caramelization process. While I am prepping the watermelon, I'm going to reduce some balsamic vinegar. This is nothing fancy, it's just the run-of-the-mill balsamic, and I'm just going to put in about a quarter cup, and we're going to reduce this on medium-low heat. Don't want it to be too high because there's a lot of sugar in there and that will probably burn. Balsamic vinegar, we like to call it balsac vinegar because that's fun. All right, let's prep our watermelon. So I've got myself watermelon here. It's beautiful in season right now. I'm going to cut a thick slice, and it's pretty straightforward. You're just going to cut this into a rectangle so it looks a little bit more steak-like. I saw some other recipes that just use the triangle, but I think it looks a little bit more like steak or some sort of faux meat when it's in a different shape. Then you're not reminded that it's watermelon. So I'm going to remove some of these seeds, or you could just, be smart and get a seedless watermelon. Yeah. And then we're going to pat some of the moisture out of it. Incidentally, this is also the secret of getting crispy meats. If you're trying to pan saute a chicken breast, for example, always pat it dry and you'll have much better caramelization. So now we're going to place this on a plate and then put it in the refrigerator and let it kind of dry for an hour or two. So here we are now. We've got two dried, prepared steaks. So the trick apparently to cooking this without a lot of splatter is to cook it on a lower temperature, about medium-low, medium, and then to increase the temperature to medium-high to get a nice sear and caramelization at the end. Okay, so I can see a little bit of smoking. I'm going to add just a bit of oil. This is grapeseed oil. I'm going to swoosh it around, and then I'm going to add my watermelon steak. Ooh, nice grilling sound. You like that? So when I was researching this, I didn't find that this was marketed as a meat replacement per se, just that there was a reference of a food critic saying this had a texture similar to tuna. And that was enough to make me want to make this. I'm also not a huge watermelon fan. I'm not like, oh, I'm gonna dive into the watermelon because it's summertime. It's got kind of a cucumbery flavor, which I'm not a big fan of. My brother knows what I'm talking about. But I appreciate its lovely color and hue and its refreshingness in the summertime. But yeah, I don't want me, you don't see me craving a watermelon anytime. Have you seen my chicken and a watermelon video, by the way? I did that a little while ago. It's bonkers. You take a whole chicken and you take a whole watermelon and you cook the chicken inside the watermelon. I found the recipe from the New York Times. It's kind of amazing. Check it out. I'm gonna just take a little peek on here. Wowzers, look at that. It's actually caramelizing, yes! That's looking pretty steak-like to me. Wow. This is looking great. Let's transfer this onto our plate. And here's what my quarter cup of balsamic vinegar looks like now. I just let it simmer on medium-low heat for probably about 7 minutes, and it's turned into this syrup. For loveliness, I'm going to add a little bit of mint on top. Alrighty, so here is the watermelon steak. Let's give this a taste. It looks beautiful. I think if someone were to present this to me, I would have no idea that this is watermelon. I would think it would be some kind of protein of some kind. Ooh, it does feel like watermelon still a little bit inside. It has that kind of crunch to it. A little bit softer on the exterior though. All right, let's make sure we get some of that balsamic glaze on there. All right, itadakimasu. It's actually really good. The balsamic vinegar, even though we reduced it, still remains pretty light and it's sweet, which echoes the sweetness in the watermelon. The texture of the watermelon is similar, but a little bit softer and not at all mealy. And the caramelization is excellent, just ever so tiny a little bit bitter, but sweet, and taste of the barbecue, that wonderful flavor of caramelized sugars that just make barbecue and things cooked on the grill all the better. It's delicious. I much prefer watermelon prepared this way than just eating watermelon. It takes all of that kind of cucumbery flavor out. I think that's what I dislike most about the watermelon. It's not its texture really, it's that cucumbery flavor. I don't really like cucumbers for the same reason. And it does not have the texture of tuna to me at all. And while the steak superficially looks like tuna, it looks a lot like raw tuna, it does not taste like raw tuna at all, nor does it have the texture of tuna. This texture is very succulent and crunchy and very plant-based. It's what I imagine a cactus, like if you were out in the desert and you just bit into a succulent cactus because you were so thirsty and needed water. That's what it reminds me. I've never done that before, by the way, but that's what it reminds me of. It's just juicy and full of water and has that cellulose structure. It does not have any protein structure to it whatsoever. So don't buy into that. It definitely looks like a tuna steak, but does not taste nor feel like a tuna steak in your mouth. Thanks, Tiffany, for suggesting this and bringing this to my attention. I found it absolutely fascinating and totally worth making. So if you like watermelon and if you like grilling, maybe this is an option for you. So happy National Watermelon Day. If you guys have any recipes or ideas of things that you'd like to see me do, let me know in the comments down below. Share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media. Be sure to subscribe so you can see more of these kinds of videos. And I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo, take care, bye!